Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be talking about my experience going to see the Batman. There will be no spoilers up until the time you see on the screen. So if you're here for the spoilers and the review, skip to this time. But if you don't want spoilers, not only will I warn you, but you can just stop at this time that I'm showing right now. So enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. Hey, what is up, everybody? I just got back from watching the Batman in theaters. Well, technically, it was yesterday. I just woke up because I got back late, so I just went to sleep. But basically, today I'm going to be talking about my experience that I had in the cinema while watching this movie. Now, the movie, it's an 8 out of 10. I'm going to put my review of the movie later on. This is it's kind of going to be like a review slash story time. But I'm going to start with the story segment and then get on with the little review of what I think about the movie. But let's just say my experience was crazy, bro. It wasn't that crazy. But, I have never had this happen to me in a cinema. Let's just get into it. So, basically, I went and watched it yesterday because I wanted to, since one day, when TikTok went crazy with it, oh, it's so good, I was like, oh, maybe I should go see this, right? So I said, okay, let's watch it on Saturday. So I went to go see it. That's all I could think about, right? So we sat down in the cinema. We got there a little bit late so that we skipped all the commercials. We only had, to sit through 3 commercials, which was really nice. But that's not the real drama here. Get this, right? We were sitting, and we were surrounded by people. If you don't know, me and my dad always sit at the very top. Because even though it's not the greatest view, we sit there because at least no one's kicking our seats back, and it's just we prefer it like that. We sat right in the middle because this is those cinemas where you can reserve the seats so no one could take our seats. And my dad sat to the left of me, and I sat beside him to the right. And there was this guy right next to me. Now the first 10 minutes of the movie, everything was going great. I loved it. And all of a sudden, tell me why I heard this dude cough. I was like, oh, maybe he got something stuck in his throat. By the way, this dude reeked of Reese's or peanut butter. I don't know what it was. The dude smelled horrible. But I was just, watching, and smelling peanut butter coming off this dude. I don't know what he was eating. And he coughed, and I was like, oh, maybe he had something stuck in his throat. He goes on to cough 8 times throughout the movie. Now, you might say, oh, for a 3-hour movie, coughing 8 times. Yeah, but not peak pandemic, but we are in a pandemic. I was like, oh heck nah. He was the first person to cough, right? And then not everyone, but some people I heard later start coughing. I was like, oh, we're sick. I started feeling a little bit of a headache coming on, and it wasn't because of I could sit through video games for hours. It's not my vision. At the time, I didn't realize I was wearing a bomber jacket, like a varsity jacket. The same jacket I got for my birthday. You can go on my TikTok and see it there. I got it for my birthday. And it was really hot. I started sweating, my eye, it was like a migraine or something. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get COVID from this. I'm gonna have to explain to my audience I'm either gonna be dead or I'm gonna take a 2-week break. And that's just crazy. And then midway through the movie, in a really intense part, this dude starts fiddling with the wrapper. He starts grabbing a wrapper, and it was just going everywhere. I was like, dude, I felt like just ripping it out of his hands, opening it, or just grabbing him by the collar and being like, shut up, bro, shut up. We're in the middle of a movie. This dude interrupted the movie so many times with either his coughing, him playing with his candy bag, smelling, and that isn't even the worst. I think it was near the end of the movie, he I kid you not, I started to smell something. Now, not the peanut butter. That scent has kind of worn off by halfway through the movie. I don't know what, it smelled like peanut butter. That's all I'm saying. I started smelling something. And it kind of distracted me, and then I realized this dude just farted in the middle of the cinema. This dude just got done farting. It distracted me. I didn't even speak up. The entire movie, I just did not speak up to him. I was just watching there. I did not want a problem. But Jesus, that was such a bad movie experience. The movie was so good, but the experience was so bad. I'm sure, If you don't see me for 2 weeks, it's either because I'm dead or I'm going through COVID again. Like, seriously, dude. Like, it was crazy. This dude, Matt, like, he was mad disrespectful. Like, and one of the most intense parts, I think it was. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna do spoilers. I'm gonna warn you before I get into spoilers. I'm gonna talk about what part he all this happened. But either way, that's kind of the story time for this video. So if you were here for the story time, leave. I'm gonna get into spoilers now, so you have been warned. Here we go. Okay, let me start off my review by saying that if you are expecting a crime-fighting Batman coming into this movie, you're going to be disappointed. This is more of a detective Batman, and that's something we don't really see in media, because Christian Bale, he's more of a crime-fighting Batman. Ben Affleck, crime-fighting. It's just like in recent memory, all we see is crime-fighting Batman. But this is more of a detective Batman, and I really like that they finally did this. But I think that if they blend both fight and detective Batman together for many segments in one movie, that would actually be really good. But besides that, I love that they made it so that this Batman by Robert Pattinson is more of a detective. But if they do make a sequel, which I really hope they do, I would really like to see. Well, they're probably going to do it, considering at the end they show the Joker, which is really cool. So that's going to be another portrayal. As much as I don't want to see a new Joker, because that should be something that's not, seen often, and it should be like a really big event when a new one comes out, I'd still want to see a new Joker, so it's whatever. But besides that, yeah, it's just a really good movie, and when they do make a sequel, they practically have to now. I really do hope that they show more of a crime-fighting and detective Batman, and kind of blend the two together, because I think that would make for a diverse Batman story, and a good one at that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Batman's personality in this movie when it comes to crime or detectivism. So yeah, let me just get into like other things. First off, the cinematography is beautiful. The storytelling is beautiful. The Riddler's riddles are actually pretty clever. When it comes to some the URL one, like the one where they have to go to the website and they have to go to Bruce Wayne, and Alfred gets the letter and said that's a pretty good puzzle. That's actually pretty smart to make it so that's like URL or rat, which is really good. I really like that. And yeah, Commissioner Gordon did a really good job. I thought he was gonna be like more of a menace to Batman, like I don't believe in you, and by the end of the movie we'd be like, oh, you are different. But no, since the beginning he's been on his side, which is something refreshing. Also, we don't have to see another origin story where they show his parents getting killed in the alleyway. They totally skipped that, which I like, because who wants to see that again? And I think they also changed it to a different way that they died. Like, they didn't die in an alley, I think. I don't know. I think it was like his wife, like Martha, killed Thomas or something like that. I got pretty confused at that segment. But still, I really like that they didn't show that for like for the 10th million time. And I think that would have just made it so that the movie lasted longer, because this is a 3-hour movie. I'm glad that they didn't show that, because all that would have done is either made the movie longer, or they would have had to cut out other segments of the movie to put that in. And also the segment in which the dude would was like, I forgot what he was doing. It was during the hospital scene where he visited Alfred and he was telling him about his parents, and this dude was just doing something I don't remember now. But he was definitely, it was either the bag or the fart, I don't know. It was like the dude he did not, I don't nah. Also, we had recliner seats in the cinema, and we that was really nice. I guess I don't know why I just added that into my review, but still, that made the watching experience way better. Also, I saw a lot of people say, "Oh, this is a woke movie," but really, it's not that bad when you put it into perspective. There's only one line that I can see being woke, like white privileged a-holes. But like it's such a minor line, and it's a 3 hour movie. It's one line. I don't think it's that bad. Honestly, I give it an 8 out of 10 for cinematography. And for diversity in Batman, like I said, because this Batman doesn't have, like, he doesn't just glide through the city with a cape like Christian Bale or Ben Affleck or whatever. I didn't see Ben Affleck, so I don't know if he glided or not. I don't really care. He has, like, a jumpsuit, like a squirrel suit. It's, like, I don't know. I'll probably put up a picture now. But, like, and he fails. He doesn't do it right. He like fails really badly, and that's because this is like a new Batman. He's just beginning to do this. I absolutely loved it. This movie is an 8 out of 10. You should definitely go watch it. I really enjoyed it. There's definitely a lot of parts that I loved, but there's a couple of parts where I think they either dragged it or it felt kind of boring. But there are very small details that I loved, like when they found out the URL rat thing, when they left the penguin tied up and he started walking like a little penguin because he was tied up, which is a really nice detail. I loved the Batmobile. That chase scene was just amazing. I absolutely loved it. And that's pretty much it, really. Like, I absolutely loved this movie. Like, the action set pieces were good. And just because I say this is more of a detective Batman and not a crime-fighting Batman doesn't mean there's no fight scenes at all. Like I said, there was a car chase scene with the Penguin. There was a fight scene. The train scene in the beginning. There was at the end, or in the beginning too, when he went into the club and he beat up some people and then interrogated the Penguin. Right now I'm not remembering too much, but there definitely was some crime fighting here. And yeah, overall, like, in the beginning, he was more of like, he was like vengeance. He was like, I'm fear. People fear me, and that's exactly what I want. People, every time they commit a crime, they're going to be looking over their shoulders. I liked how they portrayed the shadows in that beginning. Like, they look back at the shadows and they're like, is he there? Until he actually was there at the train station, which was really nice. But he went from that to being more of like hope, like helping people from the flood. Also, the Riddler, dude. I like that, like, in the entire movie, they did not interact, like, physically. Like, there was always a barrier. This was more of a battle of minds. Even when he was arrested, he was outside of the cafe. When he went to go interrogate him, he was stuck behind a glass, like, it's like, just, I loved it. I loved it. Because there's always that fight scene, you're never going to catch me, Batman. And then, like, the Riddler, they fight, and he obviously loses. But they didn't do that. They just cut that out completely. They're like, no, I don't have to fight you. And he kind of lost in this movie because the Riddler did explode everything. His followers literally shot the mayor, so that also went wrong. So it's kind of like he kind of failed, but he also became hope for the city. So I don't know. Maybe in the sequel we'll see the aftermath of the flooding and all that. Also, when he punched Jim Gordon, there wasn't really that much of a consequence to that. I would have thought that the police were going to be on him for the rest of the movie, but he just punches him, escapes, and then when they're at Riddler's apartment, they're not like trying to arrest him for punching Jim unless he like said to them like, "No, I'm okay. I'm not pressing charges or whatever." But yeah. That was kind of weird. I feel like they'd still be after him, but I'm glad they didn't do that because I'm tired of seeing, vigilantism. We're just going to grab him. I liked how they just let him come through. There was, like, no problem. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, the movie's an 8 out of 10. I loved it. I would definitely recommend it to people who haven't seen it. And that's it, yeah. Also, the soundtrack is so good. Literally, all I've had in my mind for the past day is just this. Something in the way. This movie has also gotten me to listen to a bit of Nirvana, which is really good. So, yeah. Also, the Batman theme is so menacing in this movie. It sounds so good. The trailers that were just amazing. And I just overall love the aesthetic of Gotham. Like, Gotham felt good. It felt like Gotham. I don't know how to spell it. Gotham was Gotham in this movie. Like, the aesthetic of Gotham, the look of Gotham, the streets of Gotham, everything looks so good. So yeah, like, it was just amazing. Catwoman was also good, I guess. She had characters. And Jesus from The Big Lebowski was in this movie. I liked how they hid his character from the trailers. That was kind of a good reveal. I remember I was like in the cinema watching it when his character came up. My dad was like, "Hey, look, it's Jesus, bro, it's Jesus." And I was like, yeah, I can see that. I also love that they made Catwoman his daughter. That was like a really big twist. I was like, whoa. And that he like helped kill someone for Thomas Wayne. Like there were some twists in this movie that I definitely didn't see coming and were good because of that. So yeah, once again, watch this movie. It's great. So yeah, see you all in the next one. Bye.